right, ready for this? We're going deep into the stars this week. February 17th to the 23rd to be exact.
Sounds exciting. What are we using as our guide this week?
It's Tarot by Heisey, and they are saying to expect some major shifts, like everything's about to move into a higher gear.
Higher gear. In what way?
Well, imagine driving down the highway, windows down, music's up, and you feel like you're really going somewhere.
I like that. So it's not just about speed, right? It's about having a sense of purpose, of direction as we move forward.
Totally. But there's another layer here. We're also moving into Pisces season, which starts on the 18th. And Pisces energy was dreamier, more intuitive.
Right. And this is where things get really interesting. It's not about rushing towards a goal. It's more like moving in sync with your intuition, letting those creative sparks guide you.
Oh, I love that visual. So intentional and creative. But to be honest, I'm a little curious about Pisces season. I know it's all about enchantment and like embracing the mystical side of things. But for anyone listening who's new to all this, what does that actually mean?
Sure. Basically, Pisces energy emphasizes things like faith and trust. There's a touch of romance in there too, a lot of compassion, and definitely some creative vibes.
Sounds pretty magical.
It is. It's like a cosmic invitation to finally start that creative project you've been putting off. Maybe explore some spiritual practices, or even just give yourself permission to daydream a little.
I could definitely use some more daydreaming in my life.
It's good for the soul. This is your time to really nurture your inner world.
Okay, so it's all about intuition, creativity, and daydreaming. But there's always a but coming, right? Like, is there a downside to all this dreamy Pisces energy?
Well, there can be. If Icy mentions the potential for confusion during this transit, getting lost in idealistic fantasies, that sort of thing.
Ah, I see. So we have to balance the dreaminess with a bit of practicality.
Exactly. It's about staying grounded, even when you're exploring your imagination. And we can't forget about that heightened sensitivity that comes with Pisces season. It can make you more vulnerable to energy vampires.
Energy vampires, what are those?
Those people who kind of drain your emotional reserves. You walk away from a conversation with them feeling exhausted.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. So how do we protect ourselves from these energy vampires? Do we need some kind of like cosmic garlic or something?
Garlic, haha, maybe not. But grounding yourself is key. Heisey really emphasizes that.
Makes sense. So like, how do we do that?
Well, for one, make sure you're staying connected to reality. It's easy to get swept away in Pisces season's ethereal vibes, but it's important to keep one foot on the ground, so to speak.
So dreams are good, but we need action too.
Right. Also, setting healthy boundaries is crucial. Just being mindful of who you're spending your time with and prioritizing your own well-being.
Protecting your energy, I get it. Like creating a force field around yourself.
Exactly. You need to protect your auric field. And here's another important thing about Pisces season. It marks the end of the astrological year.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. So it's like the final chapter before we turn the page to a new year with the Aries equinox?
Exactly. A time for completion, introspection, all that good stuff.
So it's a time to tie up loose ends and get ready for a fresh start. Interesting.
Hi, so it really encourages us to reflect on our accomplishments over the past year and, just prepare ourselves for new beginnings.
So even in all the dreaminess, there's this call to action, this sense of purpose. It's about more than just floating around. It's about actively preparing for what's next.
Exactly. And speaking of action, let's talk about some planetary interactions that will be happening this week.
Oh, planetary weather report. I'm ready. What can we expect?
Well, on Thursday, Mercury, that's the planet of communication, is squaring off with Jupiter, which rules expansion. And this combination can create some interesting effects.
Oh, like what?
Well, it could feel like information overloads, like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. There might be exaggerations flying around, and misunderstandings are more likely.
So basically, Thursday is not the day to make any major decisions or sign any important contracts.
Probably not. It's also a day to be mindful of judgmental attitudes, that tendency to get a little self-righteous.
Right, because no one like a know-it-all, especially when the information itself might be a bit unreliable.
Oh, exactly.
So Thursday sounds a bit chaotic. What about Sunday? Any chance for calmer waters on the communication front?
Actually, yes. Mercury forms a really nice trine with Mars on Sunday, and that brings a completely different vibe.
Tell me more.
It's a day for healing conversations, for emotional breakthroughs. Your empathy and intuition will be heightened.
Oh, that sounds much better than Thursday's energy, like a much-needed cosmic hug.
You could say that. It's a good time to reconnect with loved ones or, just have those heart-to-heart conversations.
This is great, but we haven't even talked about the big one yet. Mars going direct in Cancer. That happens on the 23rd, right?
Yeah, right at the end of the week.
Okay, break it down for me. What does Mars going direct actually mean? And why should we care?
Well, Mars is the planet of action, of energy. It's been retrograde in Cancer since last October, so you might have felt kind of stuck, especially when it comes to your emotions. Like you're trying to move forward, but you're dragging a weight behind you.
Ugh, that sounds familiar. Like having the parking brake on.
Exactly, but when Mars goes direct, boom, it's like you suddenly release that brake and hit the gas pedal.
That's quite the image. So we're finally getting the green light to move forward after months of feeling stuck.
Yes, expect a surge of energy, especially around those things that Cancer rules: home, family, emotional security. If you've been working on your emotional resilience, this is when you really start to see those efforts pay off.
Nice. So this is like a major level up moment, right?
It is. It's time to overcome those obstacles, take charge, and move forward with confidence. This is where you're going to see the biggest shifts, the most momentum.
So where do we start? I mean, this Mars energy sounds powerful. Where do we direct it?
Think about the areas Cancer rules: your home, your family, your sense of emotional security. Those are the areas where you're likely to feel this energy the most.
Hmm. Okay. So if I've been putting off that tough conversation with a family member, or I've been meaning to set some stronger boundaries at home, this is the time to finally take action.
Absolutely. And if you've been neglecting your own emotional needs, this is the perfect opportunity to prioritize self-care and create a nurturing environment for yourself.
Wow, so much to think about. I feel like we've just been handed a cosmic roadmap for the week.
That's a great way to put it, and we've only just begun to explore the terrain.
That's right, we're just getting started. This is part one of our deep dive into the week ahead. Stay tuned for part two, where we'll...
Well, we're going to explore how you can actually apply these insights to your own life.
I like that, practical magic.
Right, so think about it. Where are you feeling stuck? What area of your life could use this Mars-powered boost? Maybe it's your career or your relationships. Or maybe you're ready to finally tackle that creative project you've been putting off.
Yeah, I've got a few of those myself. But before we jump into the how-to, I just want to remind everyone that they can always get a more personalized look at these transits by connecting with Tarot by HIC.
Oh, good point.
You can find them at tarot by hic.net. I always recommend checking out their website for a deeper dive into your unique birth chart.
Definitely. While these general forecasts can offer a lot of insight, a personalized reading can really help you connect the dots in a way that feels relevant to your own journey, like how these transits are going to play out in your specific life.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get back to the nitty-gritty. I'm really fascinated by this interplay between Pisces season and Mars going direct. On the one hand, we're being encouraged to embrace our intuition, get creative, and really let our emotions flow. But then Mars, the planet of action, is like, all right, time to get moving.
It is an interesting mix, isn't it? It's like we're being given permission to float in a cosmic lazy river, but then we're also being handed a paddle.
So it's not just about going with the flow. It's about channeling that flow into something tangible, right?
Exactly. We're using this energy to create something that supports our well-being and helps us build a more solid foundation. Imagine you have all these beautiful dreams and inspirations swirling around. Well, Mars in Cancer is like the scaffolding that helps you bring those dreams to life.
Okay, I see what you mean. So it's not just about dreaming big. It's about turning those dreams into reality. But honestly, that can feel kind of daunting sometimes. Like, where do we even start?
Well, it's different for everyone. For some people, it might be finally having that difficult conversation with a loved one that they've been avoiding.
Oh, I feel that. Those tough conversations.
Yeah, but sometimes those conversations can actually strengthen relationships in the long run.
True. So facing those challenges head on.
Right. For others, it might be finally starting that creative project that's been simmering on the back burner, or making those self-care practices a non-negotiable part of their routine.
So it's all about taking action, but in a way that feels aligned with your personal needs and goals.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of astrology. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's about using these insights to create positive change in whatever ways feel right for you. It's about empowerment, really.
I love that. Empowerment through astrology. Okay, so let's get specific. What if someone's been feeling creatively stuck, like they've lost their inspiration? How can they use this Pisces-Mars energy to get their creative juices flowing again?
Well, first, I'd say really lean into that dreamy Pisces energy. Spend time in nature, listen to inspiring music, do things that spark joy and wonder. It's about creating space for those creative whispers to emerge.
So it's about setting the stage for creativity, not forcing it, like preparing the soil before planting seeds.
Exactly. And once you've done that, you can tap into Mars and Cancer to take action. That might mean scheduling dedicated time for your creative pursuits, gathering supplies, or just committing to taking one small creative step each day.
Action inspires inspiration. I like that. Okay, what about those who struggle with setting boundaries, especially in their relationships? How can they use this energy to create those much-needed boundaries?
This is where Mars and Cancer can be a real game changer. Cancer is all about protecting ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and Mars brings that fiery energy to enforce those boundaries.
Like our own personal cosmic bodyguard.
I love that. Yes, it's like having a cosmic bodyguard who's always got your back, helping you stand your ground. But of course, it all starts with awareness, recognizing where your energy is being depleted, where your boundaries are being crossed.
Yeah, sometimes we don't even realize how often we say yes when we really want to say no.
It happens to the best of us, so start paying attention to those moments. Maybe you're overcommitting to social events or taking on too much responsibility at work. Once you identify those boundary issues, then you can start setting clear limits.
And if those conversations feel scary, just remember you have Mars on your side, giving you that extra boost of courage.
Exactly. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's about honoring your needs and creating healthy, sustainable
That's
relationships.
self-care, really.
Exactly.
Okay, so just to recap, we have Pisces season encouraging us to be creative, intuitive, and tap into our emotional depth. And then we have Mars going direct in Cancer, giving us the energy and courage to actually take action, especially when it comes to our emotional well-being, home, and family.
Exactly. It's a powerful combination that can create real and lasting change. But remember, it's not just about focusing on the positive. It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience.
The good, the bad, and the messy.
Exactly. It's all part of the journey. And speaking of journeys, remember that all of this is happening within the context of the final weeks of the astrological year.
Right, it's like the final act of a cosmic play before the curtain falls and a new act begins.
Perfect analogy. So, as you're embracing all this creative and emotional energy, take some time to reflect on the year that's been. What have you learned? What have you accomplished? And what are you ready to release?
It's like doing a bit of cosmic spring cleaning, clearing out those mental and emotional cobwebs and creating space for new possibilities to emerge.
I love that. It's a time to celebrate your wins, acknowledge your losses, and embrace the beauty of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth that's woven into the very fabric of the cosmos.
Wow, that's a powerful image. So as we move through this week, we can ask ourselves, what do I need to complete or release to fully step into the new beginnings that Aries season will bring?
Exactly. And here's the magic. When you combine that inner reflection with the forward momentum of Mars going direct, you clear the path for your intentions to manifest in the new year.
It's like setting the stage for an epic next chapter.
Precisely. It all starts with taking ownership of your energy, tapping into your intuition, and making choices that truly align with your values.
Okay, we've covered a lot here. I feel like my brain is buzzing with all these cosmic insights, but I have a feeling there's always more to uncover.
There always is. It's like peeling back the layers of a cosmic onion.
It really is. And you know what? It reminds me of a tool that can help us personalize these insights. Journaling.
Oh, journaling is amazing. It's so simple, but it can be really transformative, especially when you're exploring astrology.
Journaling for astrology. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. How does putting pen to paper help us connect with these transits?
Think of your journal as a sacred space. It's where you can reflect and really dive deep into your inner world. As you go through the week and feel those planetary energies, you can capture your thoughts and feelings in real time, like any intuitive hits you get.
Oh, I like that. So it's not just about writing down what you did that day. It's about tuning into how these astrological transits are affecting you emotionally and maybe even spiritually.
Yeah, exactly. It helps you become more aware of the subtle shifts in your energy, your moods, your perceptions. Like as we move through Pisces season, you might journal about your dreams or any moments of heightened intuition, or even if you're feeling extra sensitive.
Like we're creating our own cosmic diary, tracking the ebb and flow of these planetary energies.
I love that. And, if you paid close enough attention, you might start to notice some interesting patterns.
Oh, absolutely. Like maybe you realize that you're more prone to emotional overwhelm during certain lunar phases.
Right. Or maybe you discover that your creativity goes through the roof when Mercury's in a specific sign.
It's like we become our own personal astrologers. I'm sold. I need to dig out my journal. But what advice would you give to someone who's new to all this? Like, how do you even start journaling for astrological exploration?
Well, don't overthink it. Just start small. You don't have to write pages and pages every day. Even 5 to 10 minutes can make a difference.
Baby steps.
Yeah, just jot down the date, maybe mention the current astrological transits, and then just let your thoughts and feelings flow.
It's like we're sending a cosmic postcard to the universe.
I love that.
Okay, but what about some prompts? Like, how can we delve a little deeper into the impact of these transits? What are some questions we can ask ourselves?
Good question. You could ask yourself, how am I feeling today? What dreams or intuitive nudges am I receiving? What areas of my life feel like they need attention right now? What challenges am I facing? Or what opportunities am I seeing?
Those are really good. And I like that they encourage us to look at both the positive and the maybe not so positive aspects of these transits. It's about embracing the whole experience.
Exactly, the whole journey. And remember, as you're journaling, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Experiment with different styles and techniques. Some people like to free write, others prefer a more structured approach, like bullet points or lists.
The important thing is to find what works for you.
Totally. Because at the end of the day, astrology is about active participation. It's not something we just observe from a distance.
We're co-creating our reality, right?
Yes. And when we engage with these energies consciously, we unlock so much potential. It's like we're in the driver's seat, navigating our journey with awareness and purpose. Journaling can help us do that.
Okay, journaling is a great tool. Anything else we should keep in mind as we ride these cosmic waves this week?
Always remember that astrology is about empowerment. It's not about feeling like a victim of fate. It's about understanding the energies at play so you can make choices that support your growth.
So it's like we have this cosmic map, and we get to choose our route.
Exactly. So as you move through the week, keep those key themes in mind. Embrace your creativity and intuition. Take action towards your goals and remember to set those healthy boundaries. And of course, reflect on the past year and prepare for a fresh start. It's about finding that balance between inner and outer work, between reflecting and taking action.
I feel like we've been given a cosmic toolbox filled with all these amazing tools.
We have. And remember, you can always connect with Tarot by Hi. See if you want some personalized guidance. You can find them at tarotbyhic.net.
Yes, definitely check them out. So it's been great diving into the cosmos with you. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Just remember, astrology is a journey. It's about continuous exploration and growth.
Well said. And on that note, thanks for joining us on this astrological adventure. We'll be back next week for another deep dive. Until then, will your journey be filled with wonder and a little bit of stardust.